Your ambition means nothing if you don't systemize it, because most people don't fail because they're lazy. They don't fail because they lack motivation, but they fail because they don't systemize chasing their dreams. And I can tell you exactly why that happens, because I was that guy. When I was 16 years old, it all started with this little book. I bought it, goat leather from India. I wrote down Cogitatio meliorem florent, which meant let your cognitive capability flourish. Like let my brain flourish. And the first things I wrote down in, I think it was Corona, in the Corona pandemic, I wrote down in this diary, and I continued to write down like every week, every month or so, is in this diary I'm going to write my deepest thought, ideas, principles, goals, future plans, business ideas, in the hope I'm going to make this eternal, because I can always keep myself accountable, so I can reflect, improve, and ultimately flourish as an individual. Now, these words are all fine. These are all amazing words, right? All of these goals are amazing. And the first step of realizing your ambition is actually writing it down, because so many times people are so ambitious, they have all of these goals. Like I even visualize it. I put it there, I put it in places where I can see my goals. I write down my goals, I can see my goals every day, because quite frankly, you forget. You forget about your ambition. You forget about your goals. And don't do as if this is a new thing. Like you know this. Because most of the times people are so busy with their life, like their relationships, work, university, whatever happens, and they just forget about their ambition. Life happens. Like you are following the 9 to 5, the rat race, you're following society's rules, and then all of a sudden you don't have room, you don't have space anymore to chase your actual passion. And this is a story which is all too common. I hear it every time. I mean, if I look at my family, and my family was always the best teacher. If I look at my family, there are so many stories about failed passion, not even failed passions, like not lived passions. Like they wanted to live a certain life, but they were too scared to do it. They didn't have the guts, they didn't have the balls, they didn't even make a plan to realize it. And that's exactly where most goals and ambitions strength, in the planning phase. So many people, they say that they want to chase their dreams. They say they want to break free financially, travel the world, become independently. But do they actually make a plan? Do they actually identify exactly what they need to do on a day-to-day basis to make sure that dream is going to be a reality? No. And what happens, and you can see exactly how big of an issue this is. All of these creators, think of David Goggins or Jocko Willink, all of these screamy guys, right? They're making these motivational speeches, discipline, push harder, push more, push yourself to the limits. And don't get me wrong, that can be good sometimes, but it is not sustainable whatsoever. Like if you are looking at high performers, people who perform consistently for years and years and years, they don't work themselves to death, they systemize. They make a plan, they identify the number one thing they need to do every day that will move the needle. And they don't rely on motivation, because if you rely on motivation, You basically let your emotion depend your outcome, and your emotion can basically just shift. Like, I have been studying gut health here so often. This book, for example, The Psychobiotic Revolution, it talks about how food essentially can change your mood, and that sometimes our mood isn't affected by our actual brains but by our gut. So what does this mean? That you basically cannot rely on your brain. Our brain plays mind games with us. So many people rely on motivation, they rely on their feelings to get them through the day, but that is basically a losing battle. Your body isn't made to keep you motivated all the time. Motivation, testosterone in men, for example, nowadays, testosterone is only there to get you started, to get you moving, but it isn't there, it isn't a marathon thing. Like, if you want to run a marathon, you need more than a surge of motivation. And if you then look at high performance, if you want to actually change your life, if you want to make sure your dreams come true, you finally see that body, that physique, that strong, confident man you want to be, you have to systemize it. Because think about it. Suppose you're 30 years old, you're that guy now, you are that fucking guy. You are in the best shape of your life, 6-pack abs, biceps as big as car tires, whatever. You are that guy. You are the healthiest version of you ever. What do you think he does on a day-to-day basis? Do you think he just wakes up, thinks about what type of workout he's going to do, what's going to eat today, or do you think he planned it out? He already knew a day before what exactly he's going to do today, at what time he's going to wake up, what workout he's going to do, what meals he's going to eat. What do you think that version of you who did achieve your dream outcome does on a day-to-day basis? And if you can identify that, if you can visualize that, that's the only way you can make chasing your dreams sustainable. Because willpower depletes during the day. We all wake up energized. We all wake up with motivation, discipline. You go to bed tonight and then you think, okay, fuck, I ruined it today. I made some bad decisions, but tomorrow is my day. So you wake up all fresh and you're excited to start, and then maybe you actually do start well, but during the day, this willpower drains, and over the couple, within a month, not even a month, within an hour, maybe even at night, you're throwing away your gains. You open a whole bag of chips, finish it, and then within 2 to 3 days, most people quit on their goals. And this is not even something. So this is so common. Every Monday, it's the same story. Every Monday, you go to the fucking gym, and what do you see there? It's completely packed. It is the whole day. It's full with people who are newly motivated. They are ready to attack their goal, to finally get ready for summer. But guess what? Tuesday, 20% gave up. Wednesday, 35% gave up. On Friday, more than the half of those people who were there Monday aren't there anymore. And the next Monday, this cycle continues, goes on and goes on and goes on and goes on. And do you think starting over every time is good for you? No. You're gonna feel ashamed. You will lose your self-respect. Starting over every time is such a mental battle. You won't feel confident about it because deep down you know you are a fraud. Deep down, every time you stop, every time you give up, every time you start over, you make that little bitch in your head stronger. You feed that little demon in your head which basically says to you, you can't do it. You aren't worthy. You aren't that guy. You can't be that guy. every time you give up, every time you start over and don't finish it, that little guy becomes bigger, and until it becomes your identity. And then you're screwed, because then you're going to look back at your life in 60 years and think where it all went. Well, how did this happen? How did I become this fat ass? How did I become this guy who just regrets his decision in his life? How did I just let life happen? And now you're ready. Now you are at the time, like, you can make a decision for yourself now to change that. Like, there is a better time. And it took me literally years to figure that out myself too. Like, I wrote about success. I wrote about my passion, about my ambition for years. I was dreaming of becoming that successful version. I was dreaming of becoming this guy, breaking free from the chains of society, doing what I actually love. But just writing about it doesn't help. Like, you can write all you want, you can meditate all you want, you can do gratitude or affirmations in the mirror, screaming to yourself that you're confident, all you want. But if you don't prove it to yourself, if you don't actually show up for yourself day in, day out, proving that you are going to be that guy, it isn't worth jack shit. You're better off not doing it. You're better off just actually wrecking your life than just giving yourself false hope. Like, you have to think about this way. Do you love yourself? Yes or no? Yes, right? Everyone wants to say yes, right? But do you actually love yourself? Do you actually show love to yourself in never lying to yourself? Because I think the best thing you can do to show that you love yourself is never lie to yourself. That's, I think, the only form of self-love. Never lie to yourself. Because deep down, so many decisions you make, you just know, yeah, this ain't it, bro. This ain't it. And I fell for this too. I mean, I went on a path of studying, for example, for so long. And deep down, I already knew that it wasn't for me. But I didn't have the balls to pull the plug. And now I did. I did pull the plug. I finished it and I decided I'm not going to walk that university ladder. I'm not going to become a professor. And obviously, my surroundings would have loved that, right? It's a stable thing. Like, comfort kills your dreams too. And this is a silent killer. Because even if you have found your ambition, you have identified the goals. I mean, like, again, you have identified this. You have wrote down exactly what you want. But if you don't systemize anything, comfort is going to take over. And eventually, you're going to fear that ambition. You're going to fear taking action. You're going to fear chasing your goals, because comfort is actually killing your courage. And the only way to prevent all of this from happening, to prevent you from becoming this old guy who regrets his life, is by systemizing your day. Make a plan and just execute it every freaking day. And that's the only way. If you take yourself seriously, if you actually want to become the best version of yourself, mentally, physically, then you have to make a plan. You have to identify the day-to-day things you have to do to get there. Like, imagine this dream outcome. Imagine that version of you 10 years from now who did achieve it. Like, how does his life look like, and what does this person do to guarantee he stays in that shape, he stays at that place? And then just do that now. Because if you do that now, and you have faith in that idea of you, that goal, that vision of you, then life is going to get you there. And I'm not a religious guy, but I truly believe if you put in the work, if you are smart about it, because again, you can be consistent, you can be very, very consistent. David Goggins does that every day. He runs, but he is basically running towards his own death. So you gotta be consistent, but you gotta also be smart about it. So you gotta be like, you have to reflect every once in a while. And that's why I, in my coaching, for example, do a Sunday reset with my guys, because that enables you to identify habits which are working for you and habits which have basically completed their purpose. Because sometimes a habit is just there to guide you in a new direction, and once it provided the directions, you don't need the directions anymore because you're already on that road. So you have to always keep in mind that future version of yourself and identify what you want to do on a day-to-day basis, and always reflect. Every once in a while, reflect on what you're doing to see if you're still on track. And then I guarantee you, you are going to be at a better place. And then you just have to have faith, because that's the most tough part. I think all those years when I wrote my ambitions down in this book, all of those years, I didn't actually have faith that I would reach it. Why? Because deep down, I knew I wasn't worthy at that point, because I was always doing that, starting over and then trying and failing and starting over, trying and failing and starting over, trying and failing phase. I was doing that all the time. I was saying, okay, this time is going to be the time. I'm going to look in, I'm going to grind, I'm going to finally make it work. And then life happened, emotion, like relationship went so, like, there was always something which was in the way of me actually committing. And that just ate me up. That ate up my self-respect, that ate up my confidence, and that ate up my belief in myself. So if you want to prevent all of this, and I hope you do, I hope if you have come this far in the video, that if you take one thing away from this, is visualize that future version of yourself you want to become. And it doesn't even matter what the goal is. Visualize that version of yourself. In 10 years, you are that guy. What would that guy do today? And then just fucking do it. Identify the actions, fucking do it, and never look back. Never look back. Because fear, if you fear the change, it's a good thing. The fear is a good thing. Because think about it. If you live a life without fear, if you live a life where you're always comfort, is that a life worth living? Like, it's too boring. Our life is too short to live a fucking boring life. So if you have come this far, don't live a boring life. Chase that weird ass dream. Make your life interesting and just go for it. Because why not, right? Why not? Like, there are so many people living boring lives, and if you put on your television, go watch some reality TVs, X on the Beach or whatever, like 95%, maybe even more, 98% of people are living boring lives. They living this standard Western diet, standard Western life, burdened with all kinds of chronic diseases, never seeing themselves as the most fit person ever. Like, most guys never even see their six-pack, and I'm not talking about skinny six-packs. Most guys never have good six-pack, have a good, strong physique. Like, you want to die and then remembering yourself as a strong, masculine, like a fucking gladiator. You want to see yourself ripped, right? If you haven't seen yourself ripped once in your life, then quite frankly, you're doing it wrong. So make a plan, execute it, chase your dreams. Don't fear change, don't fear the fear, and just go for it. And on that note, see ya.